The letter a mother wrote to her child before she passed away. The rain fell heavily against the hospital window. Inside room 407, a woman named Sarah lay quietly in bed. Machines beeped softly around her. The doctors had already told her what she feared most. She didn't have much time left. Her illness had spread too far. Nothing more could be done. But Sarah wasn't afraid of dying. She was afraid of leaving behind the one person she loved more than anything in the world. Her 8-year-old son, Ethan. Every night, Ethan sat beside her hospital bed. He would hold her hand and tell her stories about school, about his friends, about the soccer games he wanted her to watch. And every time he spoke about the future, Sarah felt her heart break a little more, because she knew she wouldn't be there. One evening, after Ethan had gone home with his grandmother, Sarah asked a nurse for a pen and some paper. The nurse smiled gently and handed them over. Sarah stared at the blank page for several minutes. Then she began to write. Tears rolled down her cheeks as the words filled the page. Hours passed. She wrote through the pain, through the exhaustion, through the fear. When she finally finished, she folded the letter carefully and slipped it into an envelope. Across the front she wrote, "For Ethan, open on your 18th birthday." Then she handed it to her mother. "Promise me you'll keep it safe." Her mother nodded through tears. "I promise." 3 days later, Sarah passed away. The funeral was filled with flowers. Family members cried. Friends shared memories. But none of them cried harder than little Ethan. He stood beside the casket clutching his mother's photograph, not fully understanding why she wasn't coming home, not understanding why everyone kept saying goodbye. As years passed, life moved forward. But Ethan never stopped missing her. Every birthday felt incomplete. Every school achievement felt empty. Every important moment reminded him she wasn't there. When he graduated high school, he looked into the crowd searching for a face he knew he'd never see. Still, he searched, because some part of him never stopped hoping. That same evening, his grandmother approached him carrying an old wooden box. Her hands trembled. "There is something your mother wanted you to have." Inside the box sat a yellow envelope. The handwriting was instantly familiar. Ethan froze. His heart pounded. For a moment he couldn't breathe. After all these years, a message from his mother. He carefully opened the envelope. Inside was a single letter. The paper had aged. The ink had faded slightly. But the words remained. "My dearest Ethan, if you're reading this, it means you've turned 18. I wish I could be there to see the man you've become. Right now, as I write this, you're asleep at Grandma's house. You still leave your toys all over the floor. You still hug me every night before bed. And you still believe I can fix every problem in the world. I wish that were true. But there is one problem I cannot fix. I cannot stay. Please don't be angry at life. Please don't spend years asking why. Sometimes terrible things happen to good people. That doesn't mean the world isn't beautiful. It doesn't mean love isn't real. And it certainly doesn't mean you're alone. Because even after I'm gone, my love will remain with you. Every birthday, every heartbreak, every victory, every failure. I will be there, not beside you, but within you. You were the greatest gift of my life. And there is something important I need you to know. A secret I've carried for years. One day, you will understand why I never told you before. Inside the blue box, hidden beneath the floorboards in my old bedroom, you will find something that belongs to you. When you find it, everything you believe about our family will change, and you will finally learn the truth about your father. Love forever, Mom." Ethan's hands shook violently. His father? The man he'd been told died before he was born? The man he had never met? What truth? What secret? His grandmother's face suddenly turned pale. She looked terrified. "Ethan, what is this?" he asked. Tears filled her eyes. "I hoped you'd never have to know." The room fell silent. 1,000 questions raced through Ethan's mind. Without another word, he rushed upstairs to his late mother's old bedroom. The room had remained untouched for years. Everything looked exactly as it had when she died. His heart pounded as he dropped to the floor. He searched beneath the old wooden boards. Minutes later, he found it. A small blue box, exactly where the letter said it would be. With trembling hands, he opened it. Inside were dozens of photographs, newspaper clippings, a gold pocket watch, and a second envelope. Across the front were 5 words written in his mother's handwriting. "Your father is still alive." Ethan's blood ran cold. The room suddenly felt smaller, the air heavier. His entire life had been built on one story, one truth, one belief. And now it was collapsing. Slowly, he reached for the second envelope. His fingers touched the seal. He began to open it, and the lights in the house suddenly went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Then, from downstairs, came the sound of the front door opening. A voice echoed through the house, a voice Ethan had never heard before. But somehow, it sounded familiar. Very familiar. "Ethan." The young man froze. The envelope slipped from his hand, and the footsteps began climbing the stairs. One step at a time. Closer. 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 Ethan stood frozen as the footsteps stopped outside the bedroom door. Then the doorknob slowly began to turn. To be continued. Watch out for part 2.